Muff Triangle Electro Harmonics. An iconic brand that's been around for many decades, to do with guitar legends galore such as Jimi Hendrix, David Gilmour and many others. And 2 years ago I was thinking of, do you know what, I need a muff pedal or a fuzz pedal on my pedal board to complement my ever increasing guitar rig, so that I could play in the various styles of my iconic guitar heroes. So about 18 months ago, I went on a trip to London with Michelle to Denmark Street to buy a fuzz pedal, and in particular a Big Muff Triangle reissue, like the one here which I bought. Right, Adamson, we're on Denmark Street, aren't we?
Yeah.
And that's Hanks, where we've just been in. And there we are, Denmark Street.
Much more expensive.
Have you got one of those, Mitch?
Yeah.
I have no bum fuzz, no.
Oh, right, okay.
If you give me 1 month,
My boss is on. Anyway, so here it is. This is my Big Muff pedal. There we go. Can you see that? And this was bought from Macari's in London, Denmark Street 18 months ago. Myself and Michelle went to London purely. The main goal of the mission was basically to buy this very pedal, really, and also see all the famous guitar shops on Denmark Street and basically just geek out with guitar related stuff during our afternoon there. You're probably wondering why I'm wearing a jacket and a shirt, and I'm looking fairly sort of smart, for me, to be honest. But it's only a few hours earlier we were doing a visit to the Palace at Westminster. We went to the House of Commons, the House of Lords, and that's essentially what we did. We walked from Westminster to Denmark Street, had a thoroughly good time looking at vintage guitars, and things such as like tone benders and all these great effects pedals from many years ago, which were selling in these marvellous shops. Scott Holliday of the Rival Sons, he's a big user of muff pedals and fuzz pedals, and if you were to look at Premier Guitar's rig rundown, he does a great edition where he's got the world's biggest pedal board with every kind of effect of fuzz pedals, muff pedals galore on it. And I have seen Rival Sons live about 4-5 times now, and I'm always at the front checking out his gear and his amps and stuff. And when you're at a live gig listening to Scott Holliday playing through his Gibson Firebird, and at the time he was playing orange amplifiers with all these amazing effects, and I think he's on Fender amps now from the last gig that I did see, and big tones, and that's where I was coming from really when I wanted to use a fuzz pedal or a muff pedal in my guitar rig. That's the kind of tones I was after, and equally the David Gilmour sort of fuzz tones are huge as well. Now, I did go to see a gig many years ago at the Manchester Apollo of a very famous artist, and that artist had a Marshall 4x12 cab, Marshall 4x12 cab, 2 heads on top, so I think there's like a bit of a wet and dry rig going on, and a particular song was played. I'm not going to mention who the artist is or what the song was, but when it came to chorus, the actual artist put a load of fuzz into the signal chain, and at that point I thought, oh, I can hear some fuzz, but the volume has decreased in the mix, and I thought, oh, yeah, I want to try and keep away from that kind of thing. Therefore, it gives the impression that your volume's dropping rather than punching out this big volume of woolly sound, which is what the intention will have been at the time. Now, that has stuck in my mind for many years, and that's why I've not used my big fuzz in anger until I used it at a band practice a couple of weeks ago, and if you have a little bit of a quick listen, I think you'll see that I think I've cracked it.
Sorry, man.
You can't be a good Brit. I know what he's going to do with that.
You know what's happening with that?
I hit a light bulb moment with the Big Muff, which I want to share with you today. So, moving on briefly. The Big Muff pedal, I wanted to use it in various songs within the band that I played with, and I felt it didn't really sort of fit the bill to a degree, so I never bothered with it. I just used the natural gain that came from running my valve amp and pushing those valves up to their optimum kind of levels, really, to get the nice, classy, vintage rock tones from my Laney IRT 60. Now, when I was putting the Big Muff on, I found that I'd lose volume, which is a common thing with guitars when you're basically increasing gain or pushing the amp to saturation, whereby you actually lose definition of your tone. And when you put that into context of playing live with a band, you can basically end up playing quieter, where you actually become missing within the mix. I've done a few things over the last few months to try and complement my sounds within my guitar rig by using the Big Muff pedal in conjunction with my MXR pedals that I have, my Voodoo Lab wah pedal. And you'll notice in the photograph I've got a wah pedal, then I've got, say for example, I've got the Big Muff next to it, then I've got my tuner. And you're probably wondering why I've not got a tuner right at the beginning of the signal check. Well, that's simply because it's got a buffer in it, and I'm running a buffer because I'm using fairly long cables with an effects loop, and I need that buffer just to keep that signal level all the way through these cables, backwards and forwards to my amp, to keep my guitar tone in check. And that is why the actual tuner is where it is, and then to the left of the tuner I've got the MXR Phase 90 script. Okay everyone, it's day two to do with the Big Muff. I've got my live rig set up in my home studio, and essentially got my pedal board on the floor in front of me. I've dialed in my Big Muff to complement my gig settings on my gigging gear. I've got my Fender Strat here. I'm just going to pop it on, and all I'm going to do is just demonstrate some quick tones for you. So we'll just start recording in a minute or two. So, I've lost my plectrum, always in my back pocket at the bottom of the washing machine. Here we go. So, spin my chair around. So it's really just to give you an idea inside the room what the Big Muff sounds like. Now this is my amp on my lead channel with the Fender, so just rolling on to around about level 4 or 5 on the volume knob. I've just got a little bit of delay on there, which you can probably hear. Nice and clean, really. As I wind it on, just switch the delay off. I think it'll go, it just sounds nice. Now if I'm going to introduce the Big Muff, now you hear a load of noise coming on, which they always do, so you can hear that now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll the volume in to number 1 on my volume control, and there's a touch of fuzz now. Start to hear that fuzz coming in, which is a little bit more controllable than what I've been used to for the last year or so. So bring it up to around about number 4 on the volume switch, and it's all about finding the sweet spot on your volume control on your guitar. So here we go. Now that's on the neck pickup, which is a really nice fat Fender tone, which sounds great. If I was going to move to my stacked humbucker in the bridge position, slightly different. And if I bring it all the way up to maximum, you'll hear it becomes, I think, a bit messy, to be fair. It goes on and on and on. Anyway, just mute all that lot, so I'm just going to temporarily stop the recording now, and what you will hear now is all my guitar rig as it is now going into Ableton 10 with a backing tracker fan which is in E minor, which lends itself nicely to what I want to do with it. So sit back and enjoy. Okay everybody, thanks for watching. Any comments, please put them below. Like, subscribe, tell your mates. It's developing all the time, this channel. I really appreciate your feedback and your support. So stay tuned for the next edition, which will hopefully be along in the next few weeks because at work, my day job keeps getting in the way. But yeah, stick with it, enjoy it, and we'll see you soon. And oh, almost forgot. It's always time of the day for a brew. Cracking.